Hello everyone, OSW-Sim-Sports here, and if you are ever bored with Simracing, I very much suggest you try this someday. This game is not Kartcraft, it is Kart Racing Pro, and you might be asking yourself why bother with this game instead of Kartcraft, as it looks and sounds both more dated than Kartcraft, but the reason why I rate this game so highly is that the driving is absolutely amazing, and it is essentially an open platform like R-Factor and Assetto Corsa are, which means that there is a community, although it being small, there is one that focuses on creating mods for this game, and this community goes by the name of SimKart Modding. They have their own forum where you can share and download tracks and different kart mods, engines, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's really cool, and they are very much the reason why I play this game so much. And honestly, over the last 2 weeks or something, I start this game about twice a day just to get some laps in, and generally I just drive for like 10 or 15 minutes, but those 10 or 15 minutes are among the most enjoyable that I have ever experienced in a sim, which honestly says quite a lot, as I have played many sims over the years. As for what we are driving and where we are driving it, we are currently at Adventure Karting Club Eefde, which is a kart club in the Netherlands, and it has this very nice and small cozy track, very suitable for lower powered karts like this one or even rental karts. And we are driving a Tony kart, quote unquote, as it is not really licensed, with a Briggs & Stratton LO206 as the engine, which is essentially just another lawnmower engine. But still, it is insanely good fun. And honestly, some of the best driving technique practice I have ever had in a sim, which also is very high praise. Now, before you think these slow 4-stroke karts don't really interest me at all, don't worry, let me show you something quicker. And just like that, thanks to the guys at SimKart Modding, we are now in a Rotax Max Senior, which is a 2-stroke 125cc engine, and as you can see, it has a lot more grunt than the previous kart we were driving. And as a result, the same track now feels completely different, because you can see here I'm completely overdriving the kart, as I was previously driving the slower kart, which if you get in this one, it's like a rocket. But after a very short time you get used to it, and again, it's super enjoyable. The way you can really manhandle the steering wheel in order to get a bit more rotation. The way the kart actually slides around the corner when you apply a little bit of throttle, which is very much realistic as it doesn't have a differential. Everything feels just about right. It's not absolutely perfect, but as a single player hot lapping experience, like wow, it is really impressive. As you can see, we can even do the human DRS thingy on the straights to get a little bit more straight line speed. And just to get the point across of how much content there is available to just play and enjoy, thanks to the modding community, let's now go in a completely nuts 100cc retro kart. And as we don't have an auto starter or ignition thingy on board in this kart, as it is so old school, we need to get a push from our mechanic, which he gladly does, thank you very much. And we go out for our first lap in this beast. And with this being a somewhat older chassis, which I think has a somewhat shorter wheelbase, and with it having a really quick engine, this driving experience is again completely different. It somewhat feels much more understeery and a little bit more lazy in the corners, but once you really start turning, yeah, it does absolutely want to turn. And this is surely one of the most enjoyable karts to drive in the game, as a mistake is always extremely close by at these speeds, as you can see here. Just a tiny fraction of a second I turn in too early and you're instantly into the barriers. And now, before you say, surely this driving style is way too aggressive, no, please don't think so. Go look at some of the older footage of, for example, Lewis Hamilton karting, and you will see just how aggressively they chuck it into the corner to get a little bit more rotation out of the kart. as we are so far having a decent lap, not perfect, but it gives you an idea of how quick you can go in these things, as we set a nice personal best. As we take a look at the replay, where you can quite clearly see the car dynamics, where during turning it keeps lifting the inner rear tire, which then puts all of the load on the rear outer tire, and this gives it a very interesting driving characteristic, which somehow, I don't know how, but it transfers really awesomely to real cars or big cars, to say it like that. And when playing this game, it starts to make more and more sense why almost all of the pro drivers in the world, real world pro drivers, have at least some karting experience. And here you can see it very clearly, the lifting of the tire in the corners here extremely clearly. And just go look at some old footage of Lewis Hamilton karting back in the day, and you will see exactly the same behavior. So yeah, it's really interesting that they managed to get this into the sim, as this is not easy to do, I know from my own personal experience. And yeah, the fact that Piboso managed to pull it off on his own as a side project, as he has also different games he is developing also, is just, yeah, hats off, well done to him. Now, I really hoped you enjoyed a look at something other than Le Mans Ultimate, and hopefully I have encouraged you to give this game a shot. I will have a future more in-depth review of this game coming up, and maybe some other future in the content as well. I've been OSW-Sim-Sports, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao!